Okay, team-based organization again. There's another name for team-based organizations called cross-functional teams. There's another types of team where member come from a variety of departments brought together to address mutual problems. So members of the team come from different functional. So they have different skills, experience, and so on. So they brought together to to solve some problems or to do some projects. So each of the members contributes in performing the task. So we move to the groups. The main characteristic of groups and team, they involve social interactions. People interact and influence each other in the groups or in the teams. They also have goals that they agree upon that to achieve the objective. Goals are very important because goals can become a guideline or can become some things that the organization want to achieve. So goals are very important. So group structure, sometimes the organizations or the groups or the teams consist of group structure such as tasks, rules and so on that enable interactions across time and situations. And group also have identity, where members feel close to each other, where members like to be identified in the groups or to known to have their own identity, maybe to like to be close to each other. So for group development, there are five stage model of group developments. Start with the formings and then move to the storming and then next to the norming, performing and adjourning. So we're going to discuss one by one. Forming is characterized by a great deal of uncertainty, especially in the beginning when members do not know each other. So they have kind of uncertainty about the groups, especially regarding the purpose, the structure and who gonna lead the group. So members tries to determine what types of behavior are required to be acted on under formings. So the members normally use defense mechanism, such as suppressions of the roles. They try to avoid because they do not know each other. Level of uncertainty is high. They do not know what type of behavior are acceptable under this. So especially they resort to defense mechanism in order to avoid conflict and so on. So next level after they forms or they start the groups, they may move to the phase where intergroup conflicts happen because they do not know members. They may have problem to interact or to work with the groups with the other members. So members may receive the constraints that the group impose on the individual members. So this conflict, they also will have conflicts over who will lead the groups. So that's why it says storming when the group experience conflicts. Moving to the next stage is norming. This norming stage, members are now comments are acceptable to the common set of expectations. They know what they are expected under within the groups. They define what the desired behavior in the groups, and rules also are laid down in explicit and implicit manner, so they know what's behavior to expect in the groups. So next stage, after they are comfortable in their own roles, now they can fully functions as a groups or as a member in the group. So performing is manifest in where they are fully functioning and accept the group as that's what it's been assigned for. So groups energy now are moving from getting to know each other or understanding each other to performing the task. So they are now moving toward fully functioning groups where they really perform the task. So members now are interacting effectively with each other to solve the problems and also to make decisions and to execute the task. The task. So at this stage, members become effective. They perform the task effectively and efficiently. So after they perform the task, the task actually at this stage, after the task has been completed, so the group can be dismissed or can adjourn. The group normally they have to wrap up the activities, concludes whether they have successfully fulfilled the aims or the missions of why they form the groups. Some members, after before they normally adjourn, some members may feel proud of the group accomplishments. However, others may be depressed because they have to dismiss the groups. They may lose some of camaraderie, that's mean friendships with that they gain during the work life, the group work life. The structure of the group consists of leaderships. Characteristic of effective leaders need to have intelligence. So in order to appoint someone to be a leader, members have to look at the intelligent level of the leader. A high intelligent level of the leaders can contribute to the effectiveness of the groups. If have less intelligent leader, actually can undermine the abilities of the rest of the members. So it is important to have leaders who are achievement oriented because this can contribute to the effectiveness of the group. It is important also to have leaders that have emotional intelligence, because leaders who have emotional intelligence, they know how to manage their own emotions and the emotion of other members in the group. It is also important to be effective. The group leader or the leaders need to be to have integrity, because integrity actually can make the groups to involve in ethical behavior compared to unethical behavior. And for leadership also, it is important to choose a leader that's considered participative, because participative style of leadership could lead to more satisfactions than autocratics, because autocratics the style is more dictatorship. They like to impose their power instead of asking opinions or give empowerment to the members. So it is not always effective, however, participative. So sometimes leaders need to be autocratic. So autocratic leaders can outperform participative leaders in certain occasions, certain situations. Okay, role is referring to a set of expected behavior patterns attribute to someone occupying a given position in the group. So basically, when we talk about role, we talk about what are the expected behavior patterns that when someone occupying a certain position. So role actually can also facilitate and at the same time can inhibit group effectiveness. According to Hoffman, the roles that are task-oriented can facilitate decision-making. Roles that are relations-oriented can encourage group morals. Roles that are self-oriented can fulfill the individual needs. So it is important, if the aim is for facilitating decision making, so roles need to be more task oriented, but to encourage group morals, so roles should be relations oriented. So roles can be consist of role identity, where people demonstrating their role identity by displaying attitudes or actual behavior that are consistent with a role. So role identity is referring to displaying attitudes and actual behavior that are consistent with the role that they are playing. Role perception is based on the people view of how they should act in the given situation. So that's perceptions, how they should act in the given situations. Role expectation is based on other belief, how the individual should act in the given situations. And role perceptions is based on the people view of how they should act. Role expectation is based on other belief that how the individual should act in the given situation. That's the difference between role perception and role expectations. Role conflicts is when two or more roles expectation are mutually contradictory with each other. So basically, one role is conflicting with the other role that the individual or employees are behaving, or employees are performing the role. Two roles that they performs are actually in conflicting with the other roles. That referring to role conflicts. Norms is referring to the standards of behavior that are shared by the group members. So most norms are informally agreed upon or not written. So when we talk about norm, we talk about the acceptable behavior patterns. They are not normally written. They are informally, people are accept to this norm. Type of norms is depend so performance related norms referring to what to do. Appearance related norm is dress up, showing loyalty. So it's based on the appearance. This one based on the performance. Social arrangement norms. For example, in terms of friendships, you can see social arrangements, the way they act between friends compared to difference between the ones they are not really familiar with. And allocation of the resources, referring to allocation of the tools and equipments. There's also different types of norms. Conformity, when we talk about groups, we tend to talk about conformity when individual acts according to the group norms. So individual in the groups or members in the group acts to conform to the group norms. So group members try to conform to the group norms in order to gain acceptance by the groups. So people are more likely to conform to the groups they regard as important. This is called reference group. So they want to be accepted by the groups. So the behavior are more conforms to the behavior of the groups, of the majority of the group, or at least to the reference group. So groups norm puts group members under pressure. Sometimes because the groups have their own norms, so this can put pressure for the members to follow the norms or to conform to the norms of the groups. So group norms put pressure to the members to conform because members do not want to be seen as different. That's why they conform to the group, because they want to be seen as one part of the groups. Status